Examination passed. Burnley 0, Chelsea 2 in the Premier League, and I'm feeling good because this, I was scared, man. Banana skin after international break, away from home, a lot of travel, and an early kickoff. Yikes. Let's not forget, this Chelsea team are the youngest team in the Premier League, and at times, you know, it's hard to get up for certain games, and for me, this was just screaming banana skin. Burnley weren't in the relegation zone when we were travelling to Turf Moor. I know we've got a great record there, but it's just, I just felt the fear. We go there, we weather a little, you know, turbulent time, score 2 goals, come away with a clean sheet. We get to rest entirely Alejandro Garnacho, first choice left winger. Estevao, who of course I wouldn't say is first choice right winger because of how good Pedro Neto's playing, but he of course played loads for Brazil, so we rested him. Rested the likes of Wesley Fofana. We rested Moises Caicedo, didn't have to come off the bench. Santos comes in, he wins man of the match on TNT Sports. It's a lovely old time. I'm having a great time and I'm feeling really positive about this Chelsea team. Top scorers in the league, 3 points at time of recording off the top. And yeah, the youngest team. It's really, really exciting and I'm feeling really positive about it. And we're going to get into it today. Guys, quickly, this is a match reaction, so I film with no editing. But of course, many of you will know there's daily content here on the channel where I do a lot of edits and try and do some more production. We are very close, guys. We are very, very close to 200,000 subscribers. Maybe we can reach it today after, you know, all the, you know, the people that watch this. We are 23 subscribers of 200,000. So surely, if you haven't subscribed yet, one of you, some of you, please do consider doing so and get your family members to do it. Let's get over the line, 200,000 subs. I'll be very, very pleased with that. I'll be very grateful if you could help me. But anyway, let's get into it and let's talk about this game away at Burnley after the international break. I'm going to use SofaScore for reference. Interesting, they gave Tosin Adarabioyo player of the match. Andre Santos won it on TNT Sports, the broadcast coverage. This is what we look like. Sanchez in goal, Cucurella and Reece James. Reece getting hooked at half-time, but he was all smiles, so hopefully it was tactical. Tosin and Chalobah in the centre-back partnership both played very well. Chalobah also went to right-back at one point. He's played, as you see, their left centre-back, and he's a right-sided, right-footed defender, but he's very versatile, Trev, and can put in very serviceable, you know, performances. Andre played as a sort of Caicedo-y player, but he got 7.3 here, as you can see on SofaScore, but I don't actually think that does him justice. I think he deservedly won player of the match on TNT Sports. Enzo Fernandez, Vice Capitano, getting a goal, the all-important second goal. We'll talk about the goals, of course. The front four was Pedro Neto. I didn't think he had a great day out personally, playing in what should be his preferred role. I know he talks about wanting to play as a striker, but the vision, apparently, Maresca, and I agree with Maresca, he plays better when he's playing as a withdrawn player. Gittins and Neto, both getting involved in a goal, and Delap up top. We'll speak about player performances a little bit more broadly, but in terms of the shape, it was Reece James tucking in to make it back free with Tosin and Chalobah, and Cucurella was going into that sort of pocket in the midfield, and we were having Enzo Fernandez in the right pocket, sort of Cucurella in the left pocket, or the other way around for the reverse camera, and then Joao Pedro being in the free role. It was I think it was a sort of 4-3-3 from Burnley here. I was just terrified that Leslie Ugochukwu, was he in the, I swear he was like a number 10. He's in the right pocket. He was, because he's a player, you know. The crowd, they started really strongly. If we look at the attacking momentum meter here on the left-hand side of the screen, they really started on top of Chelsea. Even like, I don't know, to for the first third of the opening half, it looked like Chelsea were dysfunctional. It looked like we were away at Turf Moor on an early kickoff after an international break. That's what it looked like, and that's when the fear was seeping in. And I was like, this is what I was afraid of. But Chelsea, we end the first half really, really strongly, getting there for Pedro Neto goal. We start the second half incredibly strongly, the whole half of the second half. And we really should have scored that all-important goal then. But as you can see, we had changes, they had changes. They got some impetus back. And of course, at the end of the game, Enzo makes sure, with great work from a lot of Chelsea players, actually, In terms of statistics, let's do it by halves. Yes, they did have quite a lot of possession, 43%. It's more than I thought they would. They did press us quite high. 0.56 xg, not a lot in the first half. Let's see if we've got more on the yeah, so 1.04. If you get 1 xg, 2 xg in a game, so say 1 each half, or just 2, I'm very happy with that. But yeah, we limited them. We had a lot of shots, a lot of moments, but I just always had the fear, because this is the problem with this young Chelsea team. They'll get on top and then they'll show moments of like mental fragility, vulnerability, which is kind of expected. And when it was just 1 goal, Esteva was about to come on. Of course, we score the second goal. He says, "Sit down, boy. I'm not having you kicked up here at Turf Moor for no reason. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to protect you for these huge up-and-coming games in Arsenal and Barcelona." And I mean, look, this is obviously we've got starters here, but this is rotated. I do think against Barcelona and Arsenal, do you start Joao Pedro in striker and someone behind? I mean, we'll speak about Delap. I think he does a lot, some good stuff. But Reece James played a half, so if it's not an injury, which I hope it's not, he's protected. Neto had to play a lot, and I mean, do we start Estevao against Barcelona? Maybe, because Neto's going to be knackered. I know he was at Cobham all international break preparing, as was Enzo Fernandez, who both saw out the game. But, they can't play 3 games in a week. Santos doing incredibly well, but, you rest Caicedo, you rest Garnacho. You don't bring on Estevao after he had a busy international break. This is kind of the perfect away win after the international break. I mean, the only thing that could have made it better is if you get that second goal here, and then you can sort of bring off Cucurella, maybe, and maybe like Neto as well if he's knackered, rather than having to play them right to the end until we get that all-important goal, second goal that, sees the result. So let's just quickly run through what happened then. Enzo Maresca was booked as well. We get the goal in the 37th minute. Jamie Gittins. I mean, it's a lovely bit of play from Cucurella, I think. The ball comes to Jamie Gittins, who puts in a beautifully shaped assist for Pedro Neto, scores a header at the back post. Lovely stuff. Pedro Neto's been incredible for Chelsea since the Club World Cup. There's a very strong argument he was our player of the Club World Cup. I know at the very end, Joao Pedro started doing well. Cole Palmer put in a man-of-the-match performance in the Club World Cup final against PSG. But over the whole Club World Cup, you'd say there's a very strong argument Neto was our form player. Another goal for him. I can't believe we can rely on this guy's physicality to the level he's playing for 90 minutes. Ask any Wolves fan. He was the man who was made of glass. He was never available. Yeah, he was always injured, and he's always available for Chelsea. Not only that, he's relied on for 90 minutes. He runs his socks off. He plays left wing, right wing, false 9, left back, right back, the way he defends. It's absolutely incredible. He deserves such immense praise, Neto. And of course, a few days ago, I reacted to the article about how he's Maresca's favourite. I can see why. For a lot of the people, in this culture wars, do you start Estevao or do you not? I think he's being handled, really, really well. And he's got Neto in front of him, who's scoring or assisting every game and working really hard and doing everything and being relied on in different positions. That's who you've got to bench, man. And look, eventually, Estevao will be too good to not play on the pitch. He's just a superstar. But Pedro Neto's been immense for Chelsea, and, he deserved a bit of praise there. In terms of subs, we saw Gusto and Badiashile. Now, Maresca always makes 5 subs, but it shows you here only making 3 that he's, really wanting to rest certain players. I mean, you could have said Josh, Jarell Hato, but resting Caicedo and Estevao and Garnacho, not bringing them on, that's really, really important. So anyway, it was a great opening goal. Pedro Neto back post. He gets booked shortly after for time wasting. I brought him in on a free hit on FPL, so I was annoyed about that. Also brought in Delap. It was frustrating. So there's the halftime change. Badiashile coming on for Reece James, which actually meant Trevoh goes from left centre-back to that sort of right-back or outside centre-back role. And Gusto comes on for Liam Delap, pushing Joao Pedro into the striker role. and Gusto sort of plays in midfield in the pocket. You had a really good chance on goal, actually. Probably should have put it either side of the goalkeeper and he scores, but he met it well. And then we see so those two changes, the halftime and the 67th minute, not that, they're bad players, bad issue. Maybe we would have been more calm with Reece on the pitch. But, Gusto coming on for Delap, shouldn't have been an issue. But that matched with the 3 changes from Burnley and then bringing on Gu, who was really important for us. Maybe the changes in the landscape is what gave Burnley, the shift of momentum, and they started, pressing us really well again. Throughout the game, they had moments when they pressed really well. They weren't passive. They didn't just do a low block. They didn't, press the back line, but they did, from the midline onwards, sort of in the middle of the park, they were pressing really well. It was a tough examination, yeah. So they make loads of changes, and they have chances as well. There was one chance where who was it? Fleming, was it? Who puts the ball just skies it on the turn. That could have easily been a goal, and how would we have reacted then? And then late doors in the 88th minute, so we had 6 minutes stoppage, so it would have been 8 minutes to go. This goal, and yes, it's an amazing assist it's a lovely assist from Gu, and it's a lovely finish from Enzo Lampard arriving late in the box. But actually the whole goal was really, really good work. It was a sort of scary moment between Gusto and Rob Sanchez in goal, doing some dangerous, they're passing between each other, but Gusto gets it back, plays it to Gu on the flank, who does really well, bringing the ball out wide, pressing really well, cutting back to a late arrival of Enzo Fernandez doing his best Frank Lampard impression and just slamming it past all the defenders into the goal. 2-0, thank you very much. Look, very, very pleased, delighted, amazing, clean sheet, hopefully no injuries. If Reece is okay, he was smiling. No injuries, clean sheet, multiple goals, top scorers in the league, rested players, had to probably react to different tactics that Maresca wasn't expecting. Apparently, also what the commentary team was saying, Lucy Ward was saying the shape he wouldn't have expected. Huge positives. There are a few players I want to pick out and talk about. Rob Sanchez, he wasn't facing much, and he did have that weird moment where he just kicked the ball against Enzo Fernandez, which was, not a great look. He does look kind of frightening still sometimes. He has that air of a man with no composure, but another clean sheet for him, so, big tick. I don't think it was Cucurella's and Reece James's best game, but I think that was to do with the tactical setup and maybe not expecting what was happening. Both centre-backs, I think, were very, very good. Chalobah, actually, no, I was a bit harsh on Cucurella because he did relieve pressure really well at points, but he can be so effective, and perhaps not. He wasn't to his usual standard. The centre-backs were very good. Trev, obviously, playing in loads of different roles. Tosin coming in, playing 90 minutes. He's obviously not been, fancied as a starting level centre-back. You could say, for starters, against the big games, he's going to play Benoit and Fofana. I thought they might start this game, but yeah, I'm looking at Tosin. 5 out of 5 ground duels won. The majority of his aerial duels won. He only won 1 out of 5 tackles, but, in contested balls, like aerial and ground duels, he was very, very strong. Fernandez had a wobbly start. We've seen games from Enzo Fernandez when he won that man of the match recently, when he was just maestro-esque. Not that today, but playing maybe in a bit of a different role. Had a few weaker moments, but obviously got the goal. Andre Santos, probably my biggest takeaway from the reliability of Pedro Neto and his continued good form would be Andre Santos coming in, having to deputise for Caicedo as a player who's actually more box-to-box than Caicedo. Santos wants to get close to goal. He likes scoring goals as well. So to tell him to do a Caicedo impression is a tall order. He did that. Delighted for Gittins to get another goal involvement. Just super amped for Pedro Neto, again putting in another excellent performance. Which leaves these two men, which we've talked about before, here, the 10 and the 9, which is a tricky one because this is what we're yet to figure out. If Cole Palmer's there, does Cole Palmer play behind Pedro Neto and they play really well? Obviously Cole Palmer starts there, but does it change the dynamic of the striker and the second striker / number 10? Because it's really interesting, because many of you will say, and rightly so, Mark Guiu came on and did more. Liam Delap had a couple of moments. I said in my Instagram feed when I was watching it, doing a story updates, he's a pressure release valve, Delap, and that shot where he turned and slashed a shot and won a corner, he had no right to get a shot on target from there. He is this kind of player, Delap, where he'll suck all the defenders in, hold it, turn into space and sort of lash it, drag you all up the pitch, and he can be this like force, like this real number 9 force. But you just only see it in moments. You can tell his biggest weakness right now, Liam Delap, is he's just despo for a goal. He's doing poor decision making because he wants to get a goal and be like, right, remember me? I'm wearing Chelsea Football Club's number 9 on my back, and therefore when you feel that pressure, it's poor decision making. But he does do good moments. Don't write him off. But yeah, Guiu comes on. The difference between Delap and Guiu is Guiu will just press the living so-and-sos out of you. I mean, I guess that's a freedom that's afforded to him when he comes off the bench against tired legs and he's just got, pace to burn. So the eye test, it always goes, wow, he's insane. But obviously you got to think of the game state. And he did fantastic work for the goal, Mark Guiu, and he was pressing really well before. Maybe Mark Guiu starts over Delap against Barcelona in the Champions League. Probably not. But he can be relied on, and I'm delighted for him. Delap just needs a goal. He's shown in moments why he's, starting as Chelsea's 9. But those moments need to become more frequent. And then also the decision-making needs to become better. And I think that will follow a goal, personally. But let me know your thoughts. Please leave them down in the comment section. Let's start the conversation. Guys, thank you for liking and subscribing. Let's try and get over 200,000 after this video. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for your support here on Football Therapy. It's a great, it's a great privilege to have people listen to me talk about Chelsea. So I'm very grateful, and yeah. Thanks for hopefully getting me over 200,000 subscribers soon. I'll be very happy. All right, take care of yourselves. Peace.